Tonight, we finally hear from the Arizona State Senate Republican who called for the so-called audit of the 2020 presidential election ballots in Phoenix. She's avoided talking until now. CNN's Kim Law caught up with her. Here's her report.
Good morning, Senator Fan. You may not recognize Arizona Senate President Karen Fan.
Let's get this thing done.
She's the elusive leader behind the notorious so-called audit happening in Maricopa County, Arizona.
I don't know what's legit, what isn't legit, but why wouldn't we want to answer those questions?
Because you're questioning democracy.
No, I'm questioning the integrity of the election system.
Which is the backbone of democracy.
That's right. Which means we should have full 100% confidence in our democracy and in our election system.
But you're talking about trying to disprove conspiracies.
If I have to, yes. Why wouldn't we? If somebody says something is out there, I would love to be able to say, that's not true, guys.
Aren't you raising more questions by giving rise to these conspiracy theories?
No. I'm answering questions.
After declining a dozen requests from CNN to talk, we finally caught up with her in the Senate parking lot. Despite 2 previous audits in Maricopa County that found no widespread fraud, Fan says this 3rd review is needed. Over the last month, we've seen this little-known subcontractor the Republican-led Senate hired, Cyber Ninjas, use UV lights, hunting for non-existent watermarks on ballots, and high-tech cameras looking for foreign fibers and photocopied ballots. Here's why, says Fan.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Are you 100% confident that every vote that came in Arizona or any other state, or can you say emphatically 100% that no dead people voted, that ballots weren't filled out by other people, that the chain of custody from the minute people voted their ballots, that the chain of custody was accurate and on target the entire time? Can you tell me that?
I can say that what the data shows us
there
was no widespread fraud.
I didn't say there was fraud.
But you just said chain of custody.
Yeah, chain of custody.
Dead people. These things are all fraud.
Well, I've asked you a question. Can you honestly tell me, in all the states, that no ballots from people that are already deceased were not filled out and sent in?
I can tell you that what the data has shown overwhelmingly is that this was the most secure election in American history. What we should be driven by. What the facts are may be the disconnect. Fan defends the pro-Donald Trump media organization One American News Network, or OAN, as being the only outlet given extensive access to the review.
First of all, when we talk about transparency, from day one, the entire process has been live streaming, so anybody...
On OAN, with cameras controlled by OAN.
Are you saying that OAN is not a credible news source? Are you saying that? CNN is saying that OAN is not a credible one.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
OAN personalities have fundraised for the Arizona audit, and a pro-Trump nonprofit claims it has raised $1.7 million for the audit. Fan says when the audit nears its end, the public will learn who is exactly paying for this. For now, she says taxpayers are covering the first $150,000.
Well, we are paying the $150,000. We are paying for some of the security, and we are paying for the cost of the Coliseum. Well, we're paying for our fair share. Anything over and above that is being covered by others. I do not know who they are, but I know from the get-go there was a lot of grassroots people. I have been told that there are people sending in $10, $50 checks, $100 because they want to see this audit done.
Fan's decision to continue with this audit is backed by the Republican majority in Arizona's Senate. It looks like they're looking for They're chasing conspiracies.
Or debunking conspiracies. That's another thing.
And
See, don't look at that. See, everybody wants to twist that word around. How about debunking conspiracy?
And how long do you believe that this process should go?
As long as it takes.
Do you believe this is helping democracy?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Will you do this every election?
It will be a lesson in democracy that we answer people's questions, and I want the people, I don't care if you're in Arizona or any state across the nation, if we have those kind of doubts, we owe it to them to answer their questions. This will be the basis of a gold standard.
King-La joins us now from Phoenix. It's interesting, she's saying essentially that if anybody feels like something wasn't fair, then there will always be audits, because
corruption is what happens when someone in power puts their own personal gain before the interests of the people they represent. Result of greed? Yes. A leader sacrifices moral integrity for the sake of money or power. Entire star systems have collapsed into chaos. A revolution because their greedy politicians got caught up in a cycle of bribery and blackmail while their people suffered. Does that mean most government officials are corrupt? Well, no. But the point is that temptation is always there, and citizens must be vigilant so corruption can't take root. The deadliest enemies of a society dwell within its borders, and from these internal threats, the people need to be protected.
But if you don't trust your leaders, isn't that treason?
It's every citizen's duty to challenge their leaders, to keep them honest, and hold them accountable if they're not.
How do you do that?
By exposing corrupt officials for what they are. Lasting change can only come from within. Be sure your assignments are prepared for tomorrow. The school's out of